Come January, you're going to stand in your kitchen needing something flour, an onion, a jar lid, and you're going to pay whatever the store is asking that day. Because it's January and you need it and they know it. That's the whole game right there. The store has a calendar and their calendar is not your calendar. Their calendar says charge the most when people need it the most. Your calendar, if you're smart about it, says buy it when it's cheap, put it away, and skip the whole conversation. Right now, late August into September, is the single best stretch of the year to fill a pantry. Gardens are dumping produce, farm stands are heavy, and stores are about to clear out summer stock to make room for the holiday markup. So today I've got 12 things to buy now before fall prices land. And number one is the best clearance trick I know most people walk right past it every September. Let's start. Number 12, salt, plain salt. Not the pink kind from a mountain somewhere that costs $9. Plain canning and pickling salt, or a big box of regular salt. It's about as cheap as a grocery item gets, and it never goes bad, ever. Salt is thousands of years old, and it's still fine. Here's why it's on a fall list. Everything you'll want to do this winter runs on salt. Brining, pickling, curing, baking, keeping the ice off the back step. And the little canisters cost 3 and 4 times as much per pound as the big boxes. Buy 2 big boxes now, put one in the back of the cupboard, and you're done with salt until spring. One note, get the plain stuff for canning and pickling, not iodized. The iodized kind can turn your pickle brine cloudy and dark. Doesn't hurt anything, just looks like something went wrong. Number 11, white vinegar, the gallon jug. I go through vinegar like most families go through milk. It's my window cleaner, my rinse aid, my fabric softener, my weed killer, and come fall, it's my pickle brine. A gallon runs $3 or $4, and it keeps basically forever. The mistake people make is buying the little bottle in the salad dressing aisle. Same vinegar, twice the price per ounce, prettier label. Go find the gallon jug, it's usually down low, by the floor, because the cheap stuff always lives by the floor. Grab 2. When the fall cleaning and fall canning both hit at once, you will not be sorry. Number 10, dried beans. A pound of dried beans makes about 6 cups cooked. That's roughly 4 cans worth. For the price of 1 can sometimes less. And right now, before soup season starts and everybody remembers beans exist, is when you stock them. Get a few pounds each of whatever your family eats. Pinto, Navy, Great Northern, whatever. In a jar with a tight lid, they'll keep for years. One honest note, because I won't oversell. Beans that sit for a very long time take longer to cook and may never get truly soft. So this isn't a bury it in the yard situation. Buy what you'll eat in a year or 2 and rotate. A pot of beans and a pan of cornbread will feed a family for $2, and that math has not changed in my lifetime. Number 9, oats. Old-fashioned rolled oats, the big canister or the bag from the bulk section. Breakfast all winter, and it goes in cookies, in meatloaf, in bread. Per bowl, oatmeal costs pennies. The little flavored packets? Same oats, a spoonful of sugar, and about 6 times the price. They're charging you for the envelope. Buy the big containers now. Pour them into jars so the pantry moths don't find them. That part matters. Learn it the easy way, not the way I did, and breakfast is handled until Easter. By the way, the whole pantry system I run, what I buy, when, how I store it, all of it, I finally wrote it down in one place. It's a book, it's on my website, and the link's right below the video. Go grab it if you want it. That's all I'll say about it. Number 8, onions and potatoes. The big sacks. Right now, farm stands and even regular grocery stores are selling 50-pound sacks of potatoes and big bags of onions for a fraction of the per-pound price you'll pay all winter buying them 3 at a time. This is harvest glut. It doesn't last. Here's the part most people don't know anymore, because we all got used to buying 5 pounds at a time. Potatoes and onions store for months if you treat them right. Cool, dark, dry, and air moving around them. A basement corner, an unheated closet, the garage if it doesn't freeze. Not the refrigerator, and here's the one rule not next to each other. Onions give off something that makes potatoes sprout faster. Opposite corners of the room. Do that, and you're eating September potatoes in February. Number 7, winter squash. Butternut, acorn, the whole family. Farm stands are drowning in them right now and pricing them accordingly. And a hard winter squash is one of the few vegetables that needs no help from you at all. No canning, no freezing, no equipment. It sits on a shelf in a cool room and it just keeps. A good butternut will hold 3-4 months easy, sometimes longer. Pick the ones with the stem still on and no soft spots. And don't wash them. Washing takes off the natural coating that helps them keep. Buy 8 or 10. Line them up somewhere cool where they're not touching each other. That's the whole method. Cheapest vegetable insurance there is. Number 6. Apples, but not the pretty ones. Here's the thing, orchards don't advertise on the road sign. Almost every orchard sells what they call seconds, or utility grade. Apples with a spot, a funny shape, a hail mark. Same apple inside. They go for a third, sometimes a quarter, of the price of the display apples because they can't sell ugly at full price, and they know it. You have to ask. Walk up and say, "Do you have seconds?" That's it. A half bushel of seconds becomes applesauce, apple butter, pie filling, dried apple rings, none of which care one bit what the apple looked like. This is a September and October window. When it closes, it's closed till next year. Number 5, spices, before the baking aisle gets you. Come November, you'll be standing in the baking aisle holding a little glass jar of cinnamon, and it'll cost $5-6 for a couple ounces. That little jar is one of the biggest markups in the whole store. You're paying for the jar and the brand name, not the cinnamon. Same store, different aisle or a discount grocer, or the bulk bins, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, all of it goes for a fraction per ounce. Buy your holiday spices now, in the cheap form, and put them in jars you already own. One honest caution: ground spices don't spoil, but they do fade. That jar of nutmeg from 3 Christmases ago isn't dangerous, it's just not doing much. Buy fresh, buy cheap, buy now, use it this year. All right, we're past the halfway mark, and everything so far you could pick up this week for maybe $40 total. But the last 4 are where the real money is. Number 2 is the one thing I never let myself run out of, and number 1 is a clearance trick with an actual date attached to it. Miss the date, miss the deal, stick with me. Number 4, rice. Same story as the beans, bigger numbers. A 1-pound box of rice next to a 20-pound sack of rice. Read the per pound price on the shelf tag, and you'll see the little box costs 2 and 3 times as much for the identical grain. The store counts on you not reading that tag. Buy the big sack of plain white rice. Stored in a sealed container, white rice keeps for years. It's one of the most patient foods there is. Brown rice, fair warning, does not. It has oils in it that go off in 6 months or so buy brown, small, and white big. A sack of rice, a shelf of beans, and a strip of bacon. And there is no snowstorm long enough to worry you. Number 3, local honey. The honey harvest is happening right now, which means beekeepers and farm stands have more honey on hand this month than any other time of year. And the prices, especially if you buy the quart or the half gallon instead of the cute little bear, reflect that. And honey does not spoil. It'll crystallize. Sure, that's not ruined. That's just honey being honey. Set the jar in warm water and it comes right back. It's my sweetener, my sore throat tea all winter that one's just what people have always done. I'm not calling it medicine, and it's a baking ingredient that never goes to waste. Buy the big jar from someone local while the harvest is on. It'll still be perfect in 5 years, though at my house, it never makes it 5 months. Number 2, butter. Butter freezes. That's the whole tip, and it's worth real money. Perfectly, by the way. A stick of butter comes out of the freezer months later exactly the way it went in. And butter is one of those items that creeps up going into the holidays when every kitchen in America starts baking at once. So when you see it on sale between now and October, and you will, stores rotate it through the sale flyer regularly. Don't buy one. Buy 6-8 pounds. Toss them in the freezer in the wrapper they came in. Come Thanksgiving week, when everybody around you is grumbling at the dairy case, you're pulling August butter out of the freezer at August prices. It's the easiest hedge in the whole grocery store, and almost nobody does it. And number 1, the September canning clearance. Here's how this works. Stores stock canning supplies, jars, lids, rings, pectin for the summer season. And sometime around and after Labor Day, they decide canning season is over and they need that shelf for Halloween candy. So it all goes on clearance. Half off is common. I have bought cases of brand new jars for less than the price of the lids alone at full price. Now here's the joke. Canning season is not over. September and October are applesauce, pears, tomatoes, apple butter, some of the biggest canning months of the year. The store's calendar and the actual harvest calendar don't match, and that gap is where you save. So, starting now, every time you're in a store that carries canning goods, walk the clearance aisle. Jars never expire, rings never expire, new flat lids keep for years in the box. Buy them at half price this fall, and you're set up for next summer before next summer's prices even exist. Even if you don't can, those jars are the best dry goods storage money can buy, and at clearance prices, cheaper than the plastic ones. Now, let me say the quiet part, because somebody should. None of this is a secret. The store knows exactly what a pound of rice costs in the big sack versus the little box. They print both prices on the same shelf. They know the spice jar is a markup and the bulk bin is not. They know butter's cheap in August and dear in November. The whole system is built on one simple bet, that you shop when you need things, not when they're cheap. That you'll walk in tired on a Tuesday in January and pay the January price. Because what choice do you have? The pantry is the choice. Every jar on that shelf is a purchase you get to make on your terms, on your calendar, at your price. That's not hoarding and it's not fancy. It's just how everybody's grandmother ran a kitchen back before the stores taught us to shop 3 days at a time. So here's your first step, and it's small. This week, do 2 things. Buy 1 gallon of white vinegar and 1 big box of plain salt that's under $10 and walk the clearance aisle of whatever store you're in. That's it. That's the start of a pantry. And tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you stock up on every fall? Every region's got its own. Somebody's grandmother did something with green tomatoes that I've never heard of, and I want to hear it. I read these, and half my best ideas come from you all. Next time, I'm going to show you what I actually do with a half bushel of those ugly seconds apples applesauce, with no fancy equipment, start to finish, the way I've done it every October for 20-some years. Until then, buy it cheap, put it up, and quit paying the January price.